Moving on to our last portion of the morning session, and then you get to eat. Exhibitor, don't eat the exhibitors. Eat and visit. And, all right, here we go. Ronnie's got amazing content for you. She is with Sharpen Up. She has been the director of the Arizona State Championship Spirit Line, two-team NFL cheerleader, Arizona Cardinals, and the Chiefs. Did you get to know Mahomes? No, it was after. It's okay. UDA head instructor and judge, panel judge for UDA, USA, Dance Challenge, DTU. She is a AIA technical judge, technique and routine master instructor for multiple high schools. She does it all, guys. She was the director of education for the NDCA, so she just has so much content, so much to teach you, and I'm going to let her start. You go, girl. Welcome, Rani.
Such a lovely intro. Thank you so much. I feel a little sheepish after all the greats up here. Very honored to be here with all of you coaches, new and still kicking, and formers. I am so impressed, and I love the things that Mary said about, just the different perspectives, as a dancer that's now a coach, and the parent perspective, and how we're always teaching and always learning, but about how to give and receive criticism. That's really going to be a lot of what we talk about today, and why communication is so important for us as coaches and what we're doing. Andrea said, okay, you're going to be teaching about effective communication and onboarding the parent and team building. And I was like, is that in one 45-minute? I could be here for 2 hours each for each topic. So there's going to be a lot of content I want to scratch the surface on. And again, this really might not be new to you. It might just be like a new inspiration on a different way to say it, because these are things that you experience. And you guys are so great. I'm impressed by the association here. You guys are utilizing your resources. And at Sharpen Up, that's our big mission. We're actually we've been coaching for over 20 years each. And we competed together, Pinnacle, Chaparral, Notre Dame. We were state champions. We were always in each other's corner, even though we were competing against each other when we were coaching. And then when we stepped away, we just always had the same mission, is to come together and this is a really cool thing, and dance team is so unique, basketball doesn't get it, the things that we do are not normal for them, and so for us to come together as women in business and company and dance team specifically, and utilize resources is the best thing. So the fact that you guys are all here in each other's corner doing it, I'm super honored to be here. So if there's a few things that I say that are inspiring to you, that's great. If it's just a refresher, fabulous. That's what we're doing, is just connecting. So yeah, let's kick it off. You may hate me. It's like whenever you have a teacher in service and they're like, we're gonna do team bond, and you're like, darn it, But so if you can push maybe your food, because I left my biscuit on it. Push the food to the middle, and put the chairs in. The goal is to meet somebody new, and by doing that, so you're gonna stand up. You're going to meet somebody and create a new handshake, a cool handshake. And then I'll give you 2 minutes, and then I would like you guys to prepare to move tables, because I want to condense for our next activity, okay? 2 minutes. 30 seconds. Okay, we're going to try and land in a new spot. My goal is to have 10 coaches at a table. So if we can have a mix of new and old, that would be perfect. So you're going to have to grab some chairs and find a new spot just for the next 30 minutes. Okay, so we're going to condense down to like 11 or 12 tables. I want 10 coaches at a table. Perfect. Drag your chair over to the front of the table that's close to you. It's fine. You're going to be sitting. You guys could probably condense. That might make sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, come on over. Yeah, you don't have to go across the room or anything. Just close by is fine. This looks good. Do you guys have a condensed table? Perfect. Thank you. Okay, any volunteers to show their handshake? Yes! Okay, what's your name? Tanner and Nikki. Okay, ready? Yeah! Love it. Okay, okay, ready? That's okay. Yeah. You're great. You guys are going to do great. Very good. Love it. Okay. Stacy, Ashley. Love it. Awesome. Okay, thanks for playing, you guys. Just a quick, little something you can do in the middle of practice to shake up the tension in the room, or go back every now and then and do your handshake with your people. And the dancers love to watch everybody else's too, and they get even more intricate as you go throughout the year. So just a fun little quick something to do. One more thing I want to incorporate, if you can grab that ball, Andrea. Sorry. A getting to know you activity. So we did a little energizer. Next we're going to do a little getting to know you. It's not going to take long. I just want it for demonstration purposes. So we're going to throw the beach ball around, and you're going to grab it. And whatever you look at is going to be the main question you're going to answer. Only after you tell me your name, what school you're at, and how long you've been coaching. Please and thank you. Cool? Here we go. Catch it. Oh, come on. Everybody was like, and think. Okay, here we go. Nice and loud. Big toss. Great. That question question is now retired if you look at it. New question. Way to make it happen, girl. Way to make it happen. All right, let's do one more. Oh.
Okay, so what do I have to say? My name is Lainey. I've been coaching PCM for 2 years now as the head coach, but this is my 5th year with the team because I was the assistant coach. Oh God. What is your biggest pet peeve? Yes. My biggest pet peeve is when I catch girls in a lie when they miss out on practice and not doing what they said they're supposed to do.
I love social media for that very reason.
Oh, I'm on my way, but their snap map says they're clearing another challenge.
Biggest stalker ever. She taught me everything I know.
So great. I wish we could keep going with this. There's some really good questions on there, but we've got to move on. Just a great example of getting to know you games with your team. They really get into it. So you can start really generic, just with like quick intros, fun facts, and then you can kind of start getting deeper to pull in like a little bit of more of that vulnerability for that bigger connection piece with your team. So just one example. And then one thing I wanted to share with you, raise your hand if you've received a golden star sticker decal so far. Awesome. So Lindsay's running around giving those out throughout the presentation. This is something that I've done with my high schoolers to basically train them. It's positive reinforcement. We're all like 5-year-olds at heart, right? And we all like stickers and prizes. So after we go through our team norms and standards in the summertime, what I want them to look like at camp, or how I want them to stand, or what their face needs to look like, or saying thank you and how we receive criticism, and being the first one up to volunteer to go across the floor. Those types of things are things that I value as a coach and that we as a team do too. So every time I see that, and I just did this with a couple of the girls, we did a workshop this weekend, yesterday, which was super fun. We implemented that, and it just helps them be more aware, and it reinforces behaviors that you want. Every day at the end of our summer practice, whoever gets the most stickers rummages through the Dollar Tree bin for prizes. So we do have that for you too. So just again, anytime I ask a question, fire those triceps, give me an answer, be the first one to answer, you'll get a sticker. If you're sitting attentively and nodding along and laughing at my jokes, you'll get a sticker. So just another example that you guys can look forward to. Okay. We're just going to breeze through this. I don't want to take too much time. Like I said, each of these could be 2-hour presentations, but just to give you some examples, effective communication strategies for coaches. Everybody up here's like already nailed it on the head. Like you had some really great advice. Everybody's kind of gone through the same thing. So that perspective as a dancer, as a parent even, like who do we need to be talking to? What type of language do we need to be using? What type of delivery? Those are the things that we're going to be discussing rapid speed today. Yes? Dealy Bob? Okay. You can breeze through the first. Yes, okay. So what audiences do we need to consider? Who are we communicating with? Parents, dancers, so the team, yep. Administrators, yep. The community, the public, the media, right? So those are pretty much like the main ones that we need to consider. What type of audience? So then we need to consider what content are we delivering, right? Is this going to be informational? Is this going to be, a PSA out to the parents? That sort of thing. So what's the goal of the communication? And then how are we going to deliver it? So we're going to go through just rapid speed those points for each of the type of audiences, go through the content and the suggested delivery methods. So feel free to take pictures if you don't want to be writing things down. Okay, I have a little, we can send the PowerPoint or something. Okay, perfect. So like we said, audience, oh, thank you. Yes, let's go flip back to, Okay, I think I kind of already did this one. There, okay, yes. Who are you communicating? Make sure you're tailoring your communication to fit their personality or preferred way to communicate. What do you want to say? So always make sure that you're stating the objective so you don't get lost in the weeds and they're not like, why is she rambling? Get to the point with that. And then the delivery. What's the most appropriate avenue? Would it be better to do it face-to-face? Is it okay to send an email or a quick text? Should you pick up the phone? I know that phone calls are hard these days, but don't be afraid of the phone. If you send a lengthy email out and there's a parent that is getting snarky on the response, just pick up the phone to clarify, and then that eliminates a lot of different problems. So the phone's not totally outdated yet. I did it. Oh, did you do it? I didn't do it. It was a good timing. Okay, so administrators, raise your hand if you had the administrator question. Okay, amazing. We think it, you said it, so thank you so much. Administrators, not always are they men, but a lot of times they are. It's kind of a man's world. So just know, principals, ADs, it's really about the education piece. They don't get it. It's not normal what we're doing. They also think that cheer and dance are the same. And Lindsay and I always joke, we're like, just because football players and hockey players wear masks and pads does not mean that they are the same sport. They need to be educated on that. So constantly be in there educating them. Get a seat at the table. Make sure that you're in the athletic meetings all the time, that you are considered an activity in a sport just along with soccer. Earn that respect for your team. You're in there for your dancers, right? Make sure that any time that you're emailing them or you're in a meeting with them, you stick to the facts. So write out all the things that are bothering you. Like 75% of it can go away if it's an emotional or you're mad about something or you're, again, like I call it lost in the weeds. Those aren't the problems. Stick to the facts and be resolution-based and solution-based. They're gonna really appreciate that. Use those sports analogies, and again, it's always about education and safety. So anytime my athletic director would come up to me, I was a director for cheer too, and he would say, well, the mom just really wants her back. She's cleared from her concussion and her broken leg or whatever on Friday, and the competition's on Saturday. I'm like, it's just not safe. I could go into another million reasons why she's not ready to be thrown into the air or catch somebody. But when it comes down to safety and liability and being sued, then he's like, got it. Okay, she's not ready. Speak the language, right? Okay. And definitely no surprises. So even though you've tried to put out fires and you've gone through all the protocol and there's issues, anytime you have a meeting with a parent or a dancer, if you feel like you need to document, you might just want to send a quick, hey, email. Just wanted to let you know, shouldn't be an issue. I feel like I've had it covered, but in case a phone call or an email comes your way, wanted you to be prepared. So just, if you have that good relationship with them, just like you as coaches, if something happened over the weekend with your dancer and she's not the first one to tell you about it, you're probably really mad, right? If she comes like, hey man, I really messed up this weekend, can I talk to you about that? Before she gets suspended or whatnot, it usually goes over better, right? Okay. Alrighty, parents, yay! And this is a great one because I know that there's like a handful of you that stood up as parents. So you have like amazing perspectives, right? But again, like parents, what I've learned over the years is like you're never gonna earn the title of being an over communicator. I challenge you to try. Like, man, she really over communicates. Like that's never gonna be something that anybody ever you think you're trying to do that and there's always gonna be something they miss. And I have gonna be kindergartner and third grader. And I'm telling you, and I coached at GCU this past year, and I'm trying to run a business. Like, the parents, they don't read the emails. Guilty. And so I get 8 emails, and so I'm now the annoying parent. Like, where it's like, I sent the email. That was me as a coach. Well, I sent the email. Did you read it? Per my email. Have you ever written one of those? Per my last email. Right? They're busy. Help them out. But if you can just start as early as possible, tell them early and tell them often, and just try and understand they've got a lot going on, right? So just be happy to clarify, but also put in a helping system. Funnel them. Is there a booster parent that can be the funnel? She's been here for 4 years. She knows how I roll. She's in communication, booster or like a veteran parent, right? Call the veteran parent first if you have questions. Or check the band that I posted it in, that kind of thing, so you're not redoing. It does definitely help. GroupMe is another one. What other apps do you use that are good for communication that's not text? What is it? WhatsApp? Good, okay. Anything else? Hey, yeah? Perfect, okay. Yeah, it's totally up to you. No, I think that's a great question. Her question was, do you recommend having a band app just for parents? That's up to your organization, but I think you can have one band app that's like the 2023 season, and you can have different groups, right? So a parent chat within there and a dancer chat within there. So when you just want the parents to know something, you can just send it to them. I feel like everybody knowing everything most of the time is best, so you can do that too. Then there's like a feed where you can post if you need everybody to be, in the know about something. You can post it in the feed. So I feel like that's a good one. I'm mostly familiar with band, but definitely utilize your resources on that. Faye. She's asking for advice on non-English speaking parents, right? So she's relying more on the dancers to relay the information to their parents. However, things get lost in translation. Or they say, I don't know, have you ever said or ever had a parent say my daughter said that I had to buy a new pair of Lululemons for her because you said that she had to, and it's like, no, I didn't. I didn't tell her to go buy a $100 pair. So things like that happen. So I like the idea of you, utilizing your leadership for that. Can you get one parent on board that's going to be you and another leader and her as the communication committee or go through? Does that work? Translator. Okay, like the student maybe? Another adult. Yes. I would try and just maybe if you can put more focus on that, on trying to find that resolution on what works, the trial and error of that. That's a tough one. Very good, but thank you for asking. Okay, so moving on to establish a protocol chain of command, loop your AD on this. If there's a problem, the dancer speaks with the coach first. If that doesn't get resolved, you can involve the coach and parent and dancer, always include the dancer. And then if they need to, go from there, it can go AD principals, so on and so forth. But it's important to keep that AD in the loop so that he knows that as soon as she goes right over your head, the AD will say, well, have you spoken to the coach first? Just make sure everybody's doing the same thing and following the same protocol. And then lastly, when you need to set a meeting, just make sure that you're sticking, again, to the facts. Set a timeline. Oh, yeah. Question, I'm sorry. I like that. Yeah, wait 24 hours before you begin the communication. Yes. Yeah, because of the high emotions. I love that, and I like that it's a school policy. If you can get that chain of command written through the athletic director or even the district, and you include that in your policies, but it's not coming from you, it has a little bit more weight to it, doesn't it? Thank you so much. And then lastly, when you do need to set a meeting, just make sure that you're setting your boundaries. You don't have all day to be there, so I'm happy to meet with you and discuss. I have from this time to this time. What is the goal of this meeting? And they might be like, well, and then they go off on a tangent. That's why it's important for you to make sure that you know what the goal of the meeting is. I just want to express a few concerns. Okay, so you're going to be listening. And I love that advice. Somebody up here had said, listen to understand, not listen to respond. It's not about you responding or defending or, it's about you listening and trying to find a resolution, and that's the goal of the meeting. And so listen from the parent, what did they want, right? And try and find that resolution. Great. And then might be nice, it depends on the situation. Sometimes it's nice to have a scribe who isn't there to chime in, but just to write things down so you can be more present. And then also that's good to have that documentation for future references. Well, remember that conversation we had when we agreed that, I have it written down here, type that email or to type it to the AD. It's just nice to have documentation sometimes, in most cases. So, great. Okay, I'm just flying through this so that we don't spend too much time. Okay, so we talked about the audiences. We have the athletic directors. We have parents we need to communicate with, and also the team. So again, this is just going to be very general. We could go into this for days, but this is you establishing norms on your team. On this team, we are on time by 5 minutes early. On this team, paint the picture of what it looks like. So you're going to have some non-negotiables that you as a coach are going to bring to the table that your leaders are already aware of, that they're already doing with you and for you. But also involve the team. Like, I think it was Jory that said, every year it's always different. Like, what does the team want? Meet them in the middle, try and guide them, but understand where they're coming from and what their wants are too. Involve them in those processes, and like, as a team, what are some important things that we want to uphold and establish? Those are going to be a big communication piece to start the year off, right? Then you're going to practice that. You're going to model that. You're going to reinforce that. You don't just say it and then drop it and expect them to do it. It's constant throughout the year from you, right? So make sure that you're getting your leaders on board. It's kind of that trickle-down effect. I put on there the forming, storming, norming, and performing. Chelsea Perotti talks about this at the National Dance Coaches Association. It's just like I think a normal business like team thing where you come together, you form the team, you develop your standards, and then you go through this storming phase where everybody's testing the boundaries and they're fighting and they're trying to see like what's going to stick. And then we work through it, and so now it's norming, like we're normal, and then finally we're like one unit and we're together and we're winning, and it's that kind of thing. So it's a process and then it starts over every year, right? So just think about the processes there that we have to do it every year, right? Start with the basic techniques so that it all looks the same. And then parent roles for dancers' needs. You need to talk to them about, this is what I need from your parents. What do you need from your parents? Now go tell your parents, right? So that that communication piece is like the utmost important to you. That's what you're bringing to the table, right? On this team, we are good communicators. Are we perfect? No. But when we make mistakes, we're going to own up to it, we're going to apologize, and we're not going to do it again. That's this culture, right? No shame in that. Do your best. Let's talk about it. Let's have a conversation. Parents, how can you be supportive? We have a whole section on that we'll get to, okay? Again, I said teach, practice, model, reinforce. Always be professional and always be present. That phone, I know that we're all addicted to it. Sometimes we're utilizing it for team purposes, social media. But if a dancer comes up to you and says, Coach, I need to talk, don't be like, okay, what's up? Like, could you imagine if she had done that to you or he had done that to you? You'd be like, like put the phone down, be present at practice, like it goes by so fast. And GK and I, this last year at GCU, we just say like, it's an entire lifetime of memories made in one season. And some of you did this for 40 years. Be present and model that. It's really important, and they're going to remember those moments. They're not going to remember all the scores and all the, wins. They're just going to remember like, man, those one-on-one moments are so important, especially when we're trying to talk about communication that's so important to us as coaches, right? Okay, so we said audience is administrators, parents, team, and then the public, right? So just really quick, public, fans, media, different levels. Colleges have a little bit more appearances out there. You're trying to prep them to go pro sometimes. So you want to think about these things. High school, it's never too soon to start. They have appearances, right? They're doing junior dance clinics. They're going to fundraisers or golf outings or whatnot. Like, you want them to be in the parades, and you want them to represent well. Also, coming off the competition floor, you need to prep your leaders on what they're going to say afterwards. So just think about all these things. When you go to camp, I'm telling you, parents don't really know to teach their daughters and their sons how to be gracious house guests. And you have to pack 4 dancers into a hotel room or a dorm room and live together for 4 days when they dance for 16 hours and they're tired. And that's hard. So how do you act when you're tired? What does your face look like when you're standing there? You're attentive, right? When you're sitting down listening to an instructor, you're sitting upright, legs crossed. Lindsay taught a great, yoga sit this morning. Have them sit like that. Teach that. Have a hand symbol for when you're across the room and you're like, it's like, hey, pioneers, that was our signal. And then we'd be like, and they're like, wow, how did they just know to stand like that? And it's like, so teach them things like that, like the hand signals on how do I stand, how do I sit? When somebody says, okay, do you guys want to do the routine again? Your kids are like, yeah, let's do it again. Instead of like, oh my God, I'm exhausted. They're the ones doing it full out, right? Every single time. Clean the dorm room, leave it better than it was left. clean the bus. Don't leave a piece of, chip on the floor for the bus driver. It's always left better. Be a gracious house guest, right? When you're taking pictures, how do you stand? This drives me crazy. Like, it needs to, sink it down so that things aren't falling out, right? At GCU, we even had, spots to stand. So there's 40 kids on the team. We don't have time to, it's like, okay, get in your photo spot. And they'd be like, right? Just do it. Nobody knows the magic behind the scenes, right? Just set it. How to introduce themselves, you guys. They don't know how to do it. Hi, my name's Rani with Sharpen Up. Pleasure to meet you. There's eye contact. There's smiling. The eyebrows are up. There's a handshake, right? Give them a few things to talk about in public because they don't know. It's awkward for them and they need the practice, especially going into college. It's really, really important. Have them get on the mic or stand up in a circle randomly, pull something out of a hat and answer a question. Throw the beach ball at them and have them stand up and answer the question on the spot. The more that you practice with them behind the scenes, the better they'll get at it. And it's harder to talk in front of their peers than it is to outsiders. It just is. It's to start out anyway, and they'll get better at it. So just think of all those communication things. Did I list how to pose for a picture? No. Great. Okay. I think we got it all covered. Okay. So that's all the communication without the parent part because I wanted to spend more time on that. Can I answer any questions about all the things in communication, or can I help you with anything or clarify? Yes, ma'am. I think that we have arrived at the day and age where it's necessary. And for a long time, we as older people we don't get it, so it's kind of a scary thing. We don't understand it. However, I will say I just took Melissa McGee from Ohio State's class at the NDCA conference just 2 weeks ago. And this is an emerging thing, you guys, where they have to learn how to be responsible social media users because it's gonna be beneficial for them in the future, as in payment and sponsorships when they go to college and they're on college dance teams. So if they can start businesses, they all use a team or a business account. So if you can bring in somebody that can teach you and your team on what that looks like, what types of things are we posting on the team account, make sure everybody's following the team account, make sure we're posting about the team account, keep your own personal social medias up to date, current, and resume focused, right? It's a mix of your life, it's a mix of your dance stuff. It's gonna teach them. Instead of keeping it away from you, they're still gonna try and figure it out, maybe not in the healthiest ways, right? So I would recommend yes, when you're ready. Okay, great. Yes, thank you. Is my lipstick doing weird things? And I'm trying to do this. Okay, are we doing okay? This one, you guys, okay. So, onboarding the sport parent. This one was really important that you guys asked about. So, let me just, yes, thank you. I'm not clicking, okay. Positive Coaching Alliance. So I've done, over the years, many different types of character building. I've used Character Matters. I love them. They're based out of Arizona. I've used Positive Coaching Alliance. Their board members are all NBA and NFL coaches, past, present. So really good. They have a sports parent training guide. So I buy this book for every single one of my parents, and we have a 2-hour discussion on all of the positives that can come from this. They are nationwide, and they have speakers that come out. So if you don't want to be the one that's like, you're going to be supportive this year, darn it, you want somebody else to tell them to do it, you're going to hire them. But if you're not in that position to be hiring them, you can do it, okay? And I'm going to show you how in a couple of quick steps, hopefully. Quick. Yeah, the famous dance team quote, right? It'll be really quick. Okay, so the basis of this is in sports generally, there's 2 goals. One is to win, right? The other is to learn life lessons, okay? The parent's role in this is the second goal. is the life lessons part of it, right? Not the winning part. So just keeping that general theme going anytime you deal with a parent, and what you're trying to get the parents to do is always second goal, life lessons. The big picture. I'm going to read this to you in here, big picture, because this makes a lot of sense to me. Second goal parent, a focus on big picture. I have long been a fan of the Family Circus comic strip. Perhaps my favorite strip of all time features the family dog barking up a storm in the middle of the night. Dad, irritated that he's been awakened from the much-needed sleep, clomps down the stairs to yell at Barfy, who dutifully hangs his head. Dad climbs back up the stairs while the cartoonist has a surprise for us. He pans back so that we see far in the corner of the yard a burglar retreating. We who see the big picture know that Barfy has protected the family from the burglary. The dad, seeing only the little picture, is angry and being disturbed. The comic strip can serve as a metaphor for youth and high school sports. High school coaches and parents are often overwhelmed so much by so many little pictures filled with the barking dogs that they miss the big picture entirely. How our teens do in any given sporting event is little picture. Whether they win or lose, play well or badly, laugh or cry after the game, all little picture, right? So get them thinking that way. Every situation, okay? Okay. The memories, that's big picture, right? They're focusing on keeping things encouraging for their son or daughter through dance team. You're gonna worry about the little stuff in the middle, but if you and the parent can work together, it's gonna create the fondest memories for a lifetime well after they've gone graduated and forgotten about the little thing that just happened, right? Okay. So parents, help the parents understand what dance team is and how they can be a positive impactor or supporter. Next slide, please. Thank you. So, understanding high school dance team. The first one is, it obviously requires a lot of time and effort. They need to understand that their supportive role is to help them prioritize and organize their schedule and stay up with school, show them the downtime that they do have. That will be valuable to them. Transition mode into adulthood. So this is the grand transition, that whole high school transition. They're trying to become independent. You're gonna help them do that, and this is a great practice arena for the parents to be able to demonstrate. I can help you write the email and check your grandma, but I am not gonna send the email. As a college coach, if I get an email from a parent, it doesn't mean anything. It just means, the child might not even know that the parent emailed. She's just out doing her thing, seeing who's gonna be interested. It's not meaningful, and at college, they can't talk to parents anyway. Once you're 18, they deal with the student. So get them practicing that. And then the chain of command to follow. This is not dance studio, and you're not paying tuition and dictating what they're gonna be doing. It's very different. So understand the chain of command, and the more that they understand that and can follow that, the better harmonious relationship we'll have. Okay, chain of command. When you're establishing that, just tell the parents to always assume goodwill. I mean, it seems very personal when your daughter or your son comes home crying because coach was mean to me today. But just know that whatever it is, just always assume goodwill. I'm here because I love your son or daughter, and I love this team. And I'm making big decisions, and I have a lot of things to consider. And we just have to work as a team. Let's talk about it. I need her or him to come and talk to me about it first, and I'm sure that we can come to a resolution. Always assume goodwill. Please make sure that they're acting honorably. That means don't talk about the coach. Don't talk about me behind my back if you don't like something that I did and you go to a parent. If all the parents are hearing it together, they'll recognize it when it starts to happen, and they'll feel uncomfy, and don't even at competition, don't badmouth the judges. Don't poison the water. Don't have secret meetings and try and get everybody on your side, because when you're in a meeting with the parent, you're not talking about everybody else's kid anyway. And then be sensible. Again, the 24-hour rule, right? Write the letter, that's fine. Type it out and then delete it, or whatever. Just wait the 24 hours. Be sensible, be respectful. More advice. So kind of just flying through this. Understand this is all in this book, you guys. Okay, that first part of the communication is my contributions with the NDCA. Carrie Smith and I helped with the coaching credentials, and this is from this book that I use. And then just some life experience things weird things that happen. So just understand that dance and sports are just a very public stage, so your kids are feeling a lot of pressure. So their emotions are all over the place, right? And we're trying to be mindful of that. The parents need to understand that too, and that it's not just about their kid. Remember the big picture, right? The grand scheme of things. Focus on the controllables, which is the effort and the lessons. So you're telling your parents, please don't comment on, how awesome her leaps were, and don't compare her to the next kid. It's not about that, right? It's about how much effort she's putting in and what she's getting out of the program. Fill their tank often. They are so run down all the time. The parents' job, along with ours, but if the parents are fulfilling that nurturing role and telling them that this is unconditional love, if you don't make the team, I still love you. If you don't make it on the competition floor, I still love you. And, I'm going to be here for you and I'm going to listen to you. They need to feel that. And then venting and crying is normal and necessary. And then thank the coach, attend the meetings, volunteer, be positive, be upbeat. Like, that's your job. If you don't like something, it's too bad. Like, you're not the coach. You think the coach is ineffective? It's too bad. They're not going to, nothing that you say about how ineffective you feel the coach is or how new or how upset you are is going to fix it. Like, that's not the parent's role. So, big picture, it's about the kid. The kid's in charge of her own experience in high school, not the parent, right? So encourage the kid to make things positive for themselves. Okay, so it's 12:15. We are going to do case studies, but I don't think we have time, so that's going to be a scratch. I have them up here, but yes, because I want to do a couple team building things. So the case studies in the back of this book, they go through some scenarios. So the coach and parent as partners, like what would that look like? And I wanted to do roundtables. That was the intention for the beginning exercise, but at least you met new people. So think about the tryouts, right? You might be having tryouts soon, or you just did. Again, what's that conversation for the parent? Be able to guide them. Listen, in our parent meeting, these are all the expenses. This is the time commitment that you're committing to, and parents just understand that there's 70 of you trying out for 16 spots, so most of you aren't going to make it. Like, be real. Come to me, email me a couple weeks after for some feedback. We'd be happy to do that, but mostly make sure that your daughter or your son knows that you're not going to be disappointed in him or her if he doesn't make the team. Be ready to have that conversation. Like, they need coaching too. They don't know all these things. Okay, so be ready to say that in your parent meeting. Another one is the rumor mill. We kind of talked about that. The kid comes home and the teammates are complaining about the coach. Does the parent chime in? Don't chime in. Unless it's like an emergency abuse, safety concern issue. Just let it ride, right? So think about some of those case studies and reach out to me, reach out to your posse pockets, right? Like, yes. For advice on that, utilize your resources. Okay, team building. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's just flip to the side. I'll just talk about it. Yes. So team building, there's several different reasons why we do team building. Obviously, to build trust, they have to get to a vulnerable state in order to actually grow on the team and be connected with their team members. So you're gonna want to find a mix of trust building exercise to sprinkle throughout the beginning of the season. Problem solving, that's always nice because that's a lot of what we're doing. We make mistakes. How do we fix it? How do we come together? And that's like a life skill too. So, and then obviously bonding. So lots of fun energizers, go out and do things. Energizers would be like the hand clap thing. You can come up with a lot of fun ways. Elbow tag, where they run around and switch people, like elbow tag. I don't know if you've heard of the back-to-back dancing. Anybody? Back-to-back dancing. They have to link arms and they can't unlink, and there's one leader who's doing one really easy move and they're all trying to do it back to back. And then the music stops and they switch. Yeah, just get them laughing, basically, like ships and sailors, that sort of thing, where they're just running around being like children and not taking themselves so seriously. Because dance world, it's all about perfection, and we just have to let loose sometimes. It could just be even in the middle of cleaning, and I'm you guys are so burnt out right now. We just are gonna get in a circle and we're gonna pretend to be the loudest person in the room, and we just yell we're excited, we're excited, we're excited, and they're whoa, and then it just goes crazy. and then everybody's laughing and rolling on the floor, and it's fun for a second. Like, think about little things like that where you can just switch it up, and that's fun. Those are the things that they're going to remember, right? So energizers. Can you flip to the next slide? Okay. Some builders. So the beach ball toss we already did, that getting to know you. Personality tests I really firmly believe in. So look into how to incorporate these. I wanted to do the true colors today, but we ran out of time, unfortunately. But what I love to do with this is they take a little quiz. They find out what their personality type color is. There's an animal one that's cute, too, that you can use. But I would have them get with their colors and write a dating ad. Like, you remember, like, back in the newspaper, anybody remember the newspaper dating ads? Like that. They probably don't know what that is, but it's hysterical. They do a really cute job. So then they stand up and they tell themselves, talk about their colors and themselves in like a dating ad. And then you talk big circle, how is this good for communication strategies on the team? Like, when I'm a gold and I'm working with my business partners, Lindsay and Danielle, and they understand my like rigidness, they don't take it personally when I'm like super dry and like, or I'm thinking, and you know, like they get it. It's important to understand each other. So to have that discussion. And then the tunnel of trust kind of goes after that. Once they understand, like, okay, this is the type of person I am, but I want to strive to be more even in all these colors. What is the one word that I want to focus on, like, embodying this year and, like, really making a change and improvement in? And mine is always patience. I've gotten better. But, so I'd be like, okay, so I need to really work on patience this year. So my word's going to be patient. And so, like, let's say, yeah, Lindsay's going to be, she's going to demonstrate with me. You get your kids in a hallway like this. Wait.
Oh, I'm doing this. Oh, I thought it was the runner. Okay.
Do you want to haul ass down the... Get over here. Yes. So you're in a hallway like this, shoulder to shoulder. And she's going to scream out her word that she wants to be, and she's going to run through the hallway, and we have to lift our arms before she gets there. There's a whole tunnel of people doing this. Ready? Say your word. Patience, yeah. Or whatever your word is. Ready? Okay, so fun. And then before the first football game, your coach gift to them is the new team shirt that says, what on the back? Patient, or whatever, inspiring. Each kid gets their word, so it takes it back, right, to that. So that's just kind of some ways to keep that going. Other great personality tests that I've done with Cardinals, the Strengths Finder 2.0 talks about your 5 strengths and focuses on that. The Enneagram's my favorite, so yes, the Enneagram really like talks about the different personalities, so check that out. Some energizers. I have a whole bunch up there. I kind of named them all off. But definitely feel free to like share among yourselves, reach out. We try and keep like a running list of coaches in Arizona with their new ideas that they share, and then we put them together and put them on our website so people can read them. Maybe you guys could do that here too. That would be so fun, yeah? Questions? Comments? It's like lickety-split. I guess last slide. Thank you. You guys, thank you so much. We are so honored to be here. This, like, tribe, we need this so much in Arizona. The fact that you guys are just willing to, take time for yourselves is so important. It's really hard to do that, so just commit to doing this once a year. And I know that a lot of you know all this stuff, but to just come and be refreshed is really what it's about, and to connect with, like you guys said, people that just get you, right? And some of these things might be new to you. And if I've helped a little bit with the communication, I love that, and I'm sorry I had to like fly through it. It's literally scratching the surface, but I'm gonna be here at my booth for the rest of the day. Lindsay's got some great classes later that I'll be around for, so I'm here for you, and I appreciate it, and thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, so did anybody get 2 stars? 2 stars, anybody? Everybody, okay, so we'll stand up if you got 1 star. Stand up if you got, lovely. Okay, we need like a tiebreaker then. Okay. Yeah, we have prices. I love that you guys got 1 at least.
My sticker people. Stacy's cheating. What is the routine length for color guard and team? Listen! Applington, right here. It's 3 minutes. Nice.
Okay, we have a little spa gift bag for you for winning this. Yes. It's at our booth. So, yes. Thank you guys so much. It's lunchtime.
Oh my goodness. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, there's like a couple of things here that I'm like, okay, we need to have training on social media, the NIL, and maybe we can do an ISDTA sports parents thing where you all, yep. I will not be speaking to that. But how cool would that be? Okay. And I feel like we need to do tons of follow-up on all of Rani's wonderful topics. Okay, so with that being said, we have box lunches over here. Those of you that when you registered and designated dietary restrictions, those are, I'm assuming, set aside somewhere. Julia